Hey, it's Celia in the Sonic Cathedral on the record with the Oracle Sisters. Welcome, y'all.
Hello, thank you.
Could I get your names just so we can keep it straight?
Louis.
Julia.
And Chris.
So good to have you here. Loved hearing these songs from your new record, Divinations. These are like stuck in my craw this year. They're ones I hear in my sleep. So they're very dreamlike in that way. Thank you for playing them.
You're welcome.
And I guess, can we go back further? I want to hear about the origin stories of some of these dreamy songs, but can we go back further? And when you all started playing music together, I think your story is interesting and it's fun to have you across the pond, but tell us how you met.
We met in Paris around 2017. Chris and I had moved there. We grew up together, and we played music. We played music growing up in Belgium, and I was in New York, and he was in Scotland, and we had decided to rekindle our musical romance and meet in Paris. And when we were looking to start the band and start playing shows, we found Julia, who was writing songs and playing drums, and it completed the vision.
Drummer first, though.
Guitar first, but then I decided to learn the drums.
You can play everything.
7 months before I met Louis.
Okay. So did you start jamming, or no? You had this vision for this band. You're like, okay, add Julia. Now we're locked in. How did songs first come about before your first release?
Well, Chris and I grew up writing music together, really. So our mission was really to move to Paris and start writing songs and see what came about. So that was what we did the first year or two there. We were just writing and recording and figuring out the sound, taking our time. Julia was also writing some songs, so that was a great addition to the band. But yeah, it was really, the origin was really the love of songwriting, I think.
And so cool to all converge in Paris. So yeah, your record came out on Valentine's Day, which feels right. Lovely city. But I understand you were sort of bopping all over to record these songs. Can you take us to these places? Maybe use examples of songs on the record that were written in far-flung places.
We were over in the U.S. 3 times, I think, in 2023. So we wrote a lot of the songs over here. One of them we wrote during a sound check in Portland. Some of them we recorded at the very end. At the end of a tour, we like to maybe book out a studio for a few days or a house or something and see what's been simmering, So we booked out a studio in LA and recorded some stuff there. But then we kind of all found each other again in a cold country house in France in February. I think it was mid-February. There were still like Christmas decorations up. I don't think it hadn't been lived in for a few months, and we just let all these songs come to the surface that have maybe been just simmering for a while.
So the opposite of LA.
Very much the opposite of LA. Yeah. It was just the 3 of us for the first time in over a year, I think, because when you're on the road, there's so many people around and everything. So we kind of came face to face again, and threw the instruments around and came up with some songs. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, in that year that you were touring so much, it was because you were supporting your first full length, right?
Yeah,
2023.
exactly. Yeah.
That's so interesting to I guess be warmed up after tour and go right into a creative process instead of being burnt out. I mean, is there any downside to creating immediately after you've been traveling together?
Yeah, I think just don't push it too far, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, the embers are hot, so it's kind of nice to see if you can just push it a little bit further. You know?
Could you use an example of one of the songs you played today and where that was maybe brought together?
Alouette was written, in this old house. I think we'd been out on the road, played a lot of shows, and we wanted to do something a bit more in your face and with a higher tempo, So Louis threw on a drum machine, and then we just started jamming out this idea. And you're on the bass as well, yeah. But I remember you programmed the drum machine too, yeah, on the bass. And we came up with that song very quickly. I think we were just in this house for about a week, and we came up with a lot of the album in that time.
And if you were in this remote, cold place, you weren't going anywhere else. You were very focused.
Yeah. There was nothing to do around there, really. When we got there, it was a bit freaky.
We were cooking and playing music and going for walks and watching a few documentaries and put on a fire and had a lot of fun.
That sounds nice. Did any art you consumed while you were there creep into your art that you made? Oh, that was a quick answer.
We watched the We Are the World documentary, and the line in Marseille, "We are the world," is definitely from there.
Yes, love that origin.
So I mean, there was just 4 words missing to fit the syllables. Yeah, we are the exactly, and that fit in perfectly. So that slipped in.
It's an homage to
It's an homage.
Dylan's amazing performance.
Yeah. There's so many great performances in that. Yeah, his was the best, of course.
Oh, we had a lot of fun watching that. So yeah.
So, and then after you've locked these songs in, how much time are you spending in Paris versus, are you still all based there as a band?
Yeah, the band is based there, but we kind of Julia and I float around the periphery where there's like half an hour outside of Paris, and Chris is
forest.
in a forest.
Ooh.
Chris is a couple of hours down south, but we all meet up, and we all kind of get together every week or 2 or 3, you know, depending. But you know, we're pretty busy the last couple of years, so we're often together. Yeah, around
So
Paris.
France is home base for all
France
three of
is
you now. I
home
mean,
base,
despite where you grew up. Tell me about bringing this sound full band then. If you've composed all these parts together, it sounds like the 3 of you, the core.
Yeah.
Great touring band that we caught here.
Yeah.
Tell me about rehearsing for tour and deciding who plays what and what lines, you know, are going to go to who.
That's a good question. I think we all play different instruments, especially like I play piano, bass, guitar, Julia drums, bass. So we play around a lot in the studio, and we kind of decide depending on the tour who's going to play what. So some tours Julia plays drums, some bass,
Wow.
some guitar. It kind of moves around, and Mel has been touring with us for the last 2 years, and is really great. And but on this tour, we kind of wanted to all 3 be up front, and so we could interact more with the crowd, and that was the reason why Julia moved from the drums to the bass. And this is our first time touring with Justin, who's played with a couple of friends of ours, including Cornelia Murr, who's a musician out of New York, an old friend. So that we like to shake it up.
I love it. Wondering about the time you spent in the States, anything about the place, maybe SoCal in particular, that crept into the music. I'm just hearing so many different versions. Like some of these are shimmery, sunny sounding songs, but I don't want to identify. This was recorded in LA, therefore it sounds like that. I don't want to assume.
Interesting. Yeah, there are definitely some songs written in these places or picked up from these places and yet to be. I mean, we saw a lot of amazing landscapes on this tour. In southern Utah and northern Arizona and Monument Valley and all that, which was really inspiring, and Kansas and Nebraska as well.
So shout out to the Plains states
Yeah.
from these folks from
Yeah,
Paris. I love it.
it was really amazing. Yeah, but in terms of any conscious influence on this album, it's probably unconscious. But we had a great time going through the desert.
I think maybe some lyrical imagery probably crept into it, and then this is fun. I like this.
It's teamwork on display. This is why we do this.
Seamless. But yeah, some lyrical imagery, I would say. But then I think sonically things always are just digested in a way. You do, obviously, it's all in there, but not consciously.
Yeah, and like Chris was saying, the pace, like for example, Alouette is like the fastest song we have, and I think we were missing in our live songs to have faster songs. So I think Alouette reflects a bit of the pace that we had 2023 touring.
Ooh, yeah. And is it feeling good to play that?
It feels good, yeah.
On this tour?
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah. Any impressions from touring this record versus your first full length? I mean, knowing that you now have like a built-in fan base, you're returning to places maybe a second time.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing slightly larger venues. We have a kind of a bigger team helping us. So touring, it had been sometimes... it could be sometimes straining because we were driving and roading and tour managing at the same time. We tested the limits of our love for each other, and we came through it. And we have it helps a lot to have a bigger team, and so we can really focus on playing the music and just enjoying that, which is why we started this. But it's been an honor to kind of travel through the States and meet everyone. We kind of hang around after shows and say hello, and no, we just hear all these very sweet stories about people quitting their jobs thanks to our music and going traveling.
All right.
And people, growing up with their kid, listening to this kind of stuff, just all different kinds of stories, people getting together, and that kind of thing. It's been good.
I didn't think about that till you said that. But what did you grow up listening to?
Well, we all have different influences.
Right. Exactly.
Go ahead.
Sharing is caring.
I'm gonna give my dirty secret. My
Big reveal.
yeah, big reveal. I got to do it. Because I mean, when you're 6, what do 6-year-olds listen to these days? You know what I mean? I was listening to the Eagles when I was 6 years old. Yeah, that was my introduction to pop music.
Big
I
over
would
there?
say. Big in my dad's record collection. Yeah.
It transcends
Steely
continents.
Dan, Doobie Brothers, like just amazing dad rock was I
Magic
think, my
words.
introduction to music.
I can't even remember. I can't even remember what I was listening to when I was 6.
No, nothing. I was just gonna keep talking about the Eagles.
I remember, being very young and listening to the Gypsy Kings because my parents were dancing to that. But then later I listened to a lot of really bad R&B when I was an early teenager, and then I transitioned into like the better stuff like Nirvana and Red Hot Chili Peppers, and later heavy metal,
Yes.
and then went from there back to
More pop music.
yeah. But we're talking about growing up, right? Yeah. A lot of jazz and a lot of classical music from my dad's side. So that's the good side.
I can hear that.
My mom played classical music, piano, so I grew up listening to her play all the greats on the piano. But then my dad was really into Ian and Celia and country music and stuff like that. So, but I mean, my kind of the music I love most growing up, I'd have to say is like the Beatles and Bob Dylan was a big influence on me growing up and listening to their compositions, and Bob Dylan on the lyrical side and the Beatles on the like songwriting and harmonies. That was, I think, my biggest influences growing up.
Well, thank you for sharing. I hear it all, and it's you're a really lovely band to consume live and on record. So thanks for sharing with us here in the Sonic Cathedral.
Thank you for having us.
And best wishes the rest of tour.
Thank you so much.
Come back soon.
We will. Thanks.